A few weeks ago, I made a video about whether the world of League of Legends could survive Warhammer 40k, and it ended up being the champion Aurelion Soul being the sole reason why the planet can survive. But a lot of people in the comments have been wondering about other champions and potential matchups that would have been really cool to see. So I made a tier list, turned it into a gauntlet. We have things like a regular guardsman up to the potentiality of becoming a new Chaos God, and just seeing where all the champions end up in. And of course, all of this is just my opinion and the knowledge that I have for both Warhammer 40k and League of Legends. So if you think somebody deserves to be a spot higher or a spot lower, just leave it in the comments. Also, full rulings. If a champion has ranged abilities, the opponent in this list is also able to use ranged abilities. But if the champion is only melee, the opponent is only able to use melee stuff. That way the list has a little bit more variation in where everybody ends up. Because bolter to the face is an issue. But when we get to the level of Primarchs and above, then we'll say that it's just both going to town with everything they have. And we're gonna start off really fucking poorly for the champions with Draven. Draven is a showman, loves throwing axes, so that makes him ranged, but for the rest he has no special armor. The axes don't go super far when thrown, and he is just a regular dude at that point. So he gets shot by a guardsman. Elise can... being caught in webs and stuff isn't something that a Space Marine would struggle with, especially with how strong Space Marines themselves are. So I'd say she's able to kill a lot of guardsmen, but as soon as a Space Marine shows up, she just dies. Mundo recently got a rework and a redo on his lore, and sadly enough, he became a little bit more boring. Being an ex-bodyguard of a Chem Baron is basically a dude from the Mafia. Yeah, he has a lot of regenerative abilities. He's a lot taller than a regular human is, and he's fucking dumb. So Mundo is an orc. And a regular orc can kill guardsmen, but definitely not a Space Marine. Darius, a bit less useless than his brother. He does have armor. Would that tank a last shot? Probably not. But he's a melee champion, so therefore guardsmen aren't able to use shooting weapons, they're able to use melee weapons. And then I think he could take a couple down. But a Space Marine is too fast and too strong for him, so guardsman's here for him. Echo. Echo is super interesting, actually, as a fighter. He can time travel. He can just simply pull a wire, go back 5 seconds in time, about that margin, and try again if he failed at something. But still, like, his energy would still be depleted, like he can still feel wounds that were done to him, but they do regenerate back to what they were 5 seconds ago. So he could potentially kill a Space Marine. I think he can kill a Space Marine, if he really tries hard. Corki is interesting, being a magical Yordle creature thing that is also a pilot. He could definitely mow down a couple of guardsmen before he gets shot out of the sky. And against the Space Marine, he also has bombs, which might be able to go through Ceramite. We don't know, but we could assume. Given benefit of the doubt, Corki could beat a Space Marine. Diana. Now, Diana you could think, okay, she's just like a regular moon assassin chick. Not true. She is a lesbian demigod. I think she could kill Space Marines pretty easily. And fighting against the Custodian, that would be a lot more interesting to see. Because she is the first, like, superhuman. And a demigod for League of Legends standards is different than 40k standards. So I won't pin her against a Primarch, but I would pin her against the Custodian. Cho'Gath is a creature from the void that becomes more and more powerful depending on how much he eats. That's pretty much all we know about him. His lore is incredibly minimal, but given that he can become a absolutely gargantuan creature, like bigger than what we have in either setting in terms of living skilled creatures, he could kill a Primarch. He might even be able to kill the Emperor, like being a creature so huge that it's really hard to stop him with magical powers. By the Emperor, by the way, I mean how the Emperor was during the Horus Heresy era, like he's an awakened creature. If Cho'Gath just kind of vores him, the Emperor will respawn elsewhere, but just needs a whole lot of prep time to fight Cho'Gath later on. So I think it might be a mutual destruction thing with, okay, he ate the Emperor, and becomes incredibly fucking powerful because of that afterwards. And then the Emperor has to deal with a Emperor-charged gargantuan creature. But yeah, honestly, Cho'Gath could defeat the Emperor by just being incredibly oversized and killing him by just eating him. Aatrox. He is a Darkin, which makes him a corrupted god. For the instance of Aatrox, who very much relishes in combat and warfare, that's like his whole thing, and he becomes more powerful the more people die around him or get slaughtered by him. If he is at like his full strength, he could defeat a Primarch. But when it's about the Emperor, I think he will have to struggle too much with psychic abilities. We've seen in the Still Here cinematic that he got cued by Morgana, and even though Morgana struggles to hold him there, and Aatrox will be able to break free from that eventually, I don't think he could do the same thing against the Emperor. Akali. Akali can throw kunai, which fucks her up, so she dies. She's an assassin, so she could assassinate a guardsman. But as soon as they find her out, she dies. Ari. She just dies. Akshan. Akshan would be a great support to people. Using the Absolver, he could resurrect people by killing the person that killed them. Which is just, it's a cool idea for a weapon, but for his own personal combat prowess, he doesn't really get far. Also, he's super unarmored, and he is ranged. So I think he just dies. he can take one down. He can take a guardsman. Space Marines fuck him up, though. There's no fucking chance. Alistar. Big purple Minotaur. He is bare-skinned, you know? So a chained sword kind of cleaves through him. But he would be unbeatable by guardsman standards. Amumu, we again know super little about Amumu. But that doesn't help him from being killed by a guardsman. And Evia is actually really fucking powerful. Think like huge snowstorms. I would say it's a possibility for her to be facing up against a Custodian. On her best, a Custodian, and her worst, a Space Marine. Magical Fire Child with a... what we think is a demon pet teddy bear? Doesn't have much else explanation. Maybe a Space Marine. On her best potential, she could kill a Space Marine. Like, the advantage of the League champions in this list is that they are named characters, and therefore, for 40k standards, they can do bigger feats of strength than they usually have. Aphelios. Aphelios, weirdly enough, is superhuman. A pact with a sister that is on a different plane that gives him magical moon weapons after he takes a shit ton of drugs. Yes, that is part of the story. And yeah, Space Marine. Ash. Unfortunately, gets shot by a Space Marine quicker than her arrow would fly. She's able to kill guardsmen. Azir makes his own little soldiers. I think he might be able to kill Custodians. He's kind of like a mini Emperor, which would enable him to kill a Custodian. He might be able to kill a Primarch. Shit, he might be able to kill a Primarch. Maybe not every Primarch, but he can kill some, so he belongs on the list. Bel'Veth, just like Cho'Gath, is part of the Void, but she kind of branched out and was like, nah, I want to do my own thing. I think just like if she brings her own horde along, because she can just like seemingly create those, she is able to fight a Custodian. Bard is super weird. He's a mythical creature that like collects the artifacts that are too powerful for the world of Runeterra, which means that he might just have a crazy collection of things. Weirdly enough, he could kill a Primarch. Super maybe the Emperor, but I'll leave it at Primarch. Blitzcrank. Iron Golem just kind of made to help people. Yeah, guardsman. Brand isn't regular fire. His fire comes from the power of a world rune, and a world rune is really a catastrophe class item to use. How tanky he is really the question here. Like, could you destroy an entity like Brand? We don't really know enough about that. I think he can kill a Space Marine. Probably not a Custodian. Caitlyn could kill a Space Marine. Hextech bullets are magical bullets, therefore able to go through Ceramite. Braum. As much as I love Braum, so he would be able to defeat Guardsmen, not Space Marines. Camille. In melee, fucks up guardsmen. I'll say it's possible for her to kill a Space Marine, for sure. Not a Custodian, though. Cassiopeia. She's kind of like the Medusa from 4 League. Magical Snake Lady, and that's kind of it. I'll say she can face a Space Marine, not a Custodian. Fucking Volibear. He can take a form that is beyond, like, skyscraper height. And I've given that same credit to Anivia, which is, weirdly enough, his sister. The Ice Phoenix and the Polar Bear are related, but Volibear is a war god, and he has used armor in the past made by his brother Orn, but saying that discarding that armor and embracing the wild side of himself has made him stronger makes me believe that his skin is really fucking tough. He also has a huge cult that worship him as the Volibear, the 1,000-pierced beast. And then he takes a lot more of a Lovecraftian horror shape, both of which exist within the canon of League of Legends. So he could maybe face the Emperor. I think he can definitely fuck up Primarchs. He could face the Emperor. Viego. Fucking hate Viego. Viego could have been super powerful, but he just isn't. And in terms of combat prowess, he's also pretty bad, actually. Like, he's been... Yeah, Akshan fucking ended him, so... I think he just gets shot by guardsmen. Getting into a melee scuffle with a Space Marine, he would not succeed at that. We have not seen any lore of him having actual combat prowess. He will just get fucked up. Victor is kind of like an experienced dude from the Mechanicus, so he might be able to kill a Space Marine. Like, he is a very, very intelligent scientist. So with prep time, he could kill Space Marines. Without prep time, he might last against Space Marines. Vladimir is a vampire, but not really. Like, he does a lot of advanced blood magic, and he is, like, centuries old. So he can kill a regular Space Marine. Maybe a Custodian. That's a big, big maybe. Sona. We know she is magical, and that is kind of it. And she has projectiles with her instruments. So she gets shot by a guardsman. Soraka. She is a goddess, but not a fighting goddess. I guess she could kill a Space Marine, because she can use magic to do harm. Silas. Silas will only be powerful if he faces a magic user. So in that case, that would be a Psyker. Because if he touches said Psyker, he can just use that magic against him. So if he touches the Emperor, he would suck up all of the Emperor's magical abilities and be able to use it against him. That is, if he is ever able to touch him. So, like, at his best. Like, if he is able to touch the Emperor, he can kill the Emperor. Weirdly enough, if he's able to touch a Catan, he can kill a Catan. If he harasses the opponent, he can get over here. But if he doesn't, he gets over here. So just for the weirdness of it, I'm gonna say that Silas is able to fight a Catan. If he touches them. Like, that's the only requisite. Otherwise, he gets killed by a Space Marine. Swain. Ranged abilities. But he is not bulletproof. So he gets shot by guardsmen. Doing Swain dirty here. But yeah, ranged abilities. So last fire just kind of kills him. Tom Kench. The River King. And a demon. He just kind of enjoys the gluttony of being able to kill people by eating them. So he will terrorize guardsmen for a little while. But I don't think he would be able to tempt Space Marines into doing anything. Talia gets shot by guardsmen. Syndra. We need more feats of strength from Syndra, because it's just been confirmed that she was incredibly, like, super mind-blowingly powerful. She's doing a big nap, so we never know her feats of strength. But if she's as dangerous as she's made out to be, she could kill Custodians. Tarek! Another, like, really big, like, supportive hero. He's like a protector, and also incredibly flamboyant, which means he gets killed by the guardsmen. Fighting a Space Marine... Well, he is also a god. He could fight a Space Marine. Teemo, a war veteran with amnesia now, and really fond of growing mushrooms that are also nukes. So with prep time, kills a Space Marine. Without prep time, gets shot by a guardsman. Do I want to give Teemo the credit for being able to kill a Space Marine? Not really, fuck that guy. Thresh! This motherfucker kinda like took Viego's job and is absolutely McLoving it. He's this like huge big undead revenant that is kind of wandering around. And super magical. He might be able to kill a custodian with that shit. But also he got his ass handed to him by Lucian once. Which makes me think that he's on Space Marine level. But Thresh became a lot more powerful after the whole Lucian fight. I'd say Custodian. Custodian on a good day. Space Marine on a bad day. Tristana gets shot by a guardsman. That's pretty easy. Trundle, a huge-ass troll with a club. Which means that the boy is an orc. Gotta put him on the same tier as Mundo. Tryndamere. The guy that is literally too angry to die. It puts him on maybe Custodian level. Maybe Custodian level because he is able to fight the God of Death for a little bit. Which could surprise the fuck out of the Custodian. Nah, Space Marine. Twisted Fate. He has magical cards. So he just dies. Twitch. A little rat with a crossbow. Also just kind of dies. Vayne. Monster Hunter. Recently became a Light Sentinel. So she has a magical gun. But she doesn't have magical armor. Dies. Varus. Stronger than you think because he's a... he is a Darkin, but he's nowhere near as powerful as Aatrox. Like, there are stalwart differences. So I'll say he's able to kill Space Marines. Urgot. He's like a half tank, but his upper body... Oh yeah, his upper body is like fully exposed, pretty much. Gets shut down by guardsmen. Udyr isn't bulletproof. He dies, which is very sad because he's really fucking cool. Well, he is able to tap into the powers of Volibear and Anivia as well. So weirdly enough, going into Iron Boar stance, he could kill a Space Marine in melee combat. Veigar. Creepily powerful mage. But I feel like he wouldn't monologue too much about being evil to face a Space Marine, so he gets killed. Vel'Koz, scout of not just the Void, but the Watchers. Watchers are gods outside of the world of Runeterra. They're like an alien species. They are where the Void originated from. So they are scarily powerful, but we have never seen feats of their strength. And Vel'Koz is just a scout for them. On a good day, a Space Marine. That big laser eye does more damage in lore than it does in the game. So weirdly enough, yeah, I'll put him on Custodian. Vex. Magical Yordle. But not bulletproof. Actually, I think Veigar also, yeah. Actually, Tristana also, yeah. Yeah, Teemo also. Ashe also, actually. Akali also. Gotta move a bunch of people down, hold on. Vi! Like, because Hextech, she would be able to face Space Marines, but we've also seen her struggle against somebody like Savika, who was also drugged up, to be fair, but, you know, fighting a cocaine addict is not like fighting a Space Marine, so she just fucks up guards. Maybe when Season 2 releases, we can see her having feats that enables her to kill Space Marine, but otherwise, no. Fiddlesticks is a demon who relishes in the idea of fear, and like is an expert at it for millennia. So, weirdly enough, even though Space Marines have the title of They Shall Know No Fear, they will definitely know fear from Fiddlesticks. Now here is the weird thing. A lot of people in Runeterra know who Fiddlesticks is, and are fucking scared of him. Like he's a folktale like Krampus kinda. Once he gets introduced into something like the 40k universe and starts scaring more and more people, at like his highest potential, Fiddlesticks can become a Chaos God of Fear. Like that is the point where he becomes like outside of his physical form. which he also kind of changes his physical form regardless. He has the option to become a potential Chaos God, which is really fucking cool to think about. Otherwise, he can kill a Primarch. But just like for like fun and the theory of it, of him being able to do something like that, I would put him here. Ezreal fucking dies. Evelyn, if she gets introduced into the 40k universe, honestly, she could kill Primarch. Because she is so incredibly Slanesh coded, she already lures people in by taking an appearance that's very alluring, and then tortures them to death for as long as she can. Which is the most Slanesh thing you can possibly fucking do. So I would say, if she gets introduced to the 40k world, at her best, she will make a deal with Slanesh and become like a greater demon for Slanesh, which could potentially kill Primarchs. Definitely Custodians, though. Fiora, it's a regular lady with a sword. So against potentially, she like sword fights against guardsmen, she can take a couple, but no higher than that. Nocturne, a little bit of a terrorist that gives nightmares to everybody. I don't think he would have effects on Space Marines. Fiddlesticks would. Nocturne would not. Nocturne is weaker than Fiddlesticks by far. And so Fear is like not really his domain. Also, Space Marines don't really sleep. So he terrorizes guardsmen. That's it. Nunu and Willop. They throw snowballs. Which means that guardsmen are able to use less rifles against them, so they die. Olaf. If we take into account that he cannot die because of a prophecy, he could kill Primarchs. Oh, he can kill a... He can... Yeah. If it's true that no matter what he does, he will die old on his deathbed, wait. A Catan can make him old. A Catan can age Olaf down, so he could kill the... So Olaf could kill the Emperor. Yeah. Because he's also a perpetual, so it would be a draw with the Emperor. Like, the Emperor would just put him in stasis, and just like, alright, just wait until you're old and die. Olaf could kill Primarchs because he's immortal. And I'll leave it at that. My webcam, which is also my phone, has no power anymore. So while that's charging, let's do some champions without a webcam. Orianna. Because she is Hextech, she might be bulletproof to resist guardsmen. Maybe Space Marines. So you could just like hurl a big ball at Space Marines and hope for the best. Gallia, Primarch level. Actually, weirdly enough, because the Emperor is a Psyker, Galio is made of a material called Petricite, which absorbs magic and makes Petricite itself, magically infused. Which gives Galio, who is a regular statue, life. Never in the history of League has Petricite been overcharged? Could the Emperor overcharge Petricite? Or could Petricite absorb whatever psychic abilities the Emperor is able to use? And actually at his highest potential. Like I said in the previous video that he's able to face an Imperial Knight, but eventually gets like blown up by shells, by missile shells. But we're talking about a Catan and the Emperor here, who are magical, like who use the warp to some extent to manipulate reality. So, a Catan could probably say Petricite does not function in the way it does anymore. The Emperor probably could not. Because if he could do something like that, like manipulate Petricite into not working anymore, he could have done the same thing with like the web way of the Eldar. Fizz gets fucking shot. Gangplank. He's a pirate, he gets shot. Garen. Petricite armor, which enables him to kill mages. And he can face guardsmen. But a Space Marine is better at melee combat than him. Gnar. We haven't seen many feats of strength of Gnar. At best, he's an orc. Put him with the others. Gragas. He's a drunkard. He will die. Graves. Lung cancer. He will die. Gwen. No, like, really impressive feats of strength. So she can kill guardsmen, not Space Marine. Ornn is wicked. It's, like, really weird to debate. Because whatever weapon he makes is like the best that it could be. So he can make himself armor, and he can make himself a weapon that is able to like withhold custodian attacks. Maybe even Primarch attacks as well, since Ornn is fuck off tall. I'm kinda hesitant to put him like on Emperor level, because we are talking about the best of the best, right? Like the best a champion is able to do. That's why Silas can defeat a Catan. Ornn could make armor out of Petricite, and thus be able to defeat the Emperor. This all is actually making me want to bump Anivia up, because I know her brothers are super powerful. We haven't seen many feats of her, but due to the possibility, she might be able to kill a Primarch. Pantheon is weird, because Aatrox killed him. What remained of the corpse of Pantheon was Atreus, the vessel of the god, who survived with the powers of him while still being mortal. So I will say that Atreus can kill a Space Marine. Big maybe, but Custodian. Poppy, in melee, could fight Space Marines. Could not fight Custodians. Pike! Weird Ghost Revenant fella. Everyone's on the list, but what you gonna do? Stab a fucking Space Marine with a little dagger? I don't think so. Hecarim. Ghost Centaur Sadist Horse. Where's Thresh? I'll put him next to Thresh. Well, Thresh is stronger than him. Yeah. Hold on. Space Marine. Yeah. Heimer Ding Dong can make a mechanical T-Rex if we believe Legends of Runeterra. Big mechanical T-Rex is probably able to crush a Custodian. Heck, maybe a Primarch. Nah. Custodian actually also nah. Because Custodians are quick as fuck. Alawi, big buff lady with magical tentacle god, can kill guardsmen. I don't think she has the power to kill Space Marines. Now, okay, Boros, the god of Alawi, can fight Primarchs, probably. So here's the priestess, and here's the god. Aurelia has really cool powers, being able to like control the blades of her family crest, which makes her super cool, but also ranged. So she dies. Janna, very much a support type goddess. I'm not even sure if she is able to kill Space Marines. Benefit of the doubt, Space Marine. Ivern, funny tree fellow, burned to a stake. Jarvan the Fourth, kill a guardsman. Jax has fought for centuries against like a giant plethora of different enemies, and has become an absolute like grandmaster in melee combat. So in melee combat, I think he might even be able to fight Custodians and have fun while doing it. Quinn, chick with a crossbow, dies. Kiana, magical lady with a magical hula hoop, which she throws projectiles. And she doesn't have armor. Rakan dies as well. Rammus, we don't know shit about Rammus, but let's assume he's completely bulletproof. Then he's able to kill Space Marines, but a Custodian will find a way around it. Jace is a very smart scientist, but also one with a huge ego. And he can throw projectiles, so he dies. Jhin, I fucking love him. In Assassinations, he could kill Custodians, but in full, like, close-up fights, I'm afraid he just dies. Which sucks, because he's really fucking cool. Well, I put Cassiopeia higher because of Ambush, right? So I'll say Jhin with, like, heinous amounts of prep time can kill a Custodian. Ridiculous amounts of prep time. Oh, that's maybe doing too much credit. A Space Marine. Jinx, lady with a minigun and a big fuck-off rocket. She might take down some guardsmen, but... well, she has more range than a lot of guardsmen, too, given her big fuck-off nuke ability. So weirdly enough, I'll put her a little bit higher. Let's put her next to that. Yay. Cassante, absolutely massive dude that kills monsters for fun. So he could fight Space Marines. Kaisa, I'm so sorry, but you shoot bullets, which means that you die. Fuck, we still have so many to go. Callista, big ghost specter, throws spears. Are they able to go through Space Marine armor? Not likely. Is she able to get shot by guardsmen? Not likely. So put her on the guardsman tier. Karma, magical lady, throws projectiles, is somewhat of a spirit of an entire continent. So maybe on a best day she's able to face Space Marines. Karthus, a cultist that really likes to sing very loudly, but one dies. Kassadin, Supercharged, superhuman, powered with the void. So I'll say that he is able to fight Space Marines. Katarina throws her daggers. Put her on dies as well. Kale, aspect of justice. Together with her sister, she's able to fight Aatrox, who was able to fight Primarchs, and kill at her highest strength. She's probably able to match that against Primarchs. You can also, like, fly and throw, like, fire swords around, so a fight with her and Sanguinius would be really fucking cool to see. Kane, half Darken, which would give him credit. He can jump into people's bodies and then leap out, destroying them, which definitely means that he can kill Space Marines. He might be able to kill Custodians. Primarchs, though? Kane is kind of like a best of both worlds scenario, right? He is a Darken, so that gives him a little bit of demigod strength. And he is trained in the ways of the shadow, which is as edgy as it sounds, but it enables him to phase shift, like through walls and stuff, leap into people's bodies and explode out of them, which some Primarchs, but not all, are able to do something about. Kindred. I know Nurgle is already kind of like the god of life, death, and rebirth, but Kindred is like real fuck off powerful. So to give, you know, decay and rot to Nurgle, and then give straight up death to Kindred, would mean that they can become a potential Chaos God. Kled! Honestly, his creature is able to maybe kill a Space Marine, but Kled sure as fuck isn't. Kha'Zix, at best a Space Marine. When he kills Space Marines and adapts to them, Custodians still kill Kha'Zix. Kog'Maw, the weird dog of the void, and we know very, very little about him, and he is ranged, so he dies. Lee Sin, you know how Udyr can tap into the strength of every beast and creature within Runeterra? Lee Sin does that, but exclusively with dragons. So in a melee fight, you could fight a Space Marine. LeBlanc, not a fighter, very much a manipulator. As a combatant, guardsman at best. Leona, she is the sun to Diana's moon, so let's put those two cuties together right next to each other. Rek'Sai, big, fuck-off, underground shark creature. I think she could kill a Custodian. She could kill a Primarch. Rel, because she is melee, she can at least, like, fight guardsmen. If Ceramite counts as, like, a type of iron? Actually, if Ceramite counts as a type of iron, she is able to take full control of iron, which means she can put all Primarchs who are all covered from head to toe in Ceramite into stasis. Now, some Primarchs have anti-psyker stuff going on, or just really strong will, but let's say Rel is as dangerous as League makes her out to be, then I think she is able to kill Primarchs. At worst, a Space Marine is able to resist her iron, her iron control, like he is stronger than what she is able to hold back, but still it would be then an even fight. So at worst, Space Marine. At best, Primarch. Renata Glask dies. Renekton, kind of a wild card. He isn't ascended, which makes him one of the demigods, and he loves fighting. He's able to fight Primarchs. Lulu, because she is so fucking dumb, where most of her roles given by other Yordles is, hey, protect this rock, I think she just dies. Lilia is a fucking deer. Lissandra, honestly? Oh wait, she's ranged. Could maybe kill a Space Marine. Lux, throws projectiles, has armor, but like very little armor, so she dies. Melzahar, Prophet of the Void, dies. Malphite, big fuck off magical mountain, absolutely huge. Could maybe kill the Emperor. Could Malphite kill the Emperor? Physical version of the Emperor, yes. He's kind of in the middle here. So let's go for the on a good day rule, the Emperor. Maokai, a tree spirit that is desperately trying to hold everything together in the Shadow Isles while the Shadow Isles is fucking everything up. He's also a tree. The Space Marines will just kind of like burn him. Rengar, I'll put him next to Kha'Zix since they are rivals and they are both like apex hunters. Riven, she doesn't have a lot of feats of strength. The only one that we do know is she is able to master the wind technique. I think she's able to 1v1 Space Marines. Rumble, He's white in the open on his mech, so he gets shot and dies. Rise is really weird to consider at a good day at Primarch. Master Yi. We talked about Master Yi before. Master Yi can beat Primarchs. He is as fast as light. I'll put him on Primarch level. Milio. He throws projectiles. Death. Misfortune. Death. Mordekaiser. Honestly, I think Mordekaiser is nearing Primarch level. Because the man has slaughtered so much that he died on a mountain of corpses. Not a hill. A mountain of corpses. Resurrected himself for fun. Conquered the world for the second time. And created a death realm for himself. Now, like a Primarch feat, like the Emperor deems it a Primarch feat to be able to conquer the world by yourself. Mordekaiser has done that twice. So I think he could give a lot of Primarchs a run for their money. I want to kind of give him the Emperor. I won't give it to him. He's really cool though. I want to give it to him, but I can't. Sejuani, in terms of melee, can probably battle Space Marines. I mean, she fought Olaf to a standstill. But she's nowhere near perfect, so she cannot fight Custodians. Samira has gun, therefore has death. Senna, light sentinel, but also has gun. Has kind of a ghost spirit form thing and a sixth sense going on, so I'll give her Space Marine. Seraphine, she is the singer. That's kind of it. Morgana, I'll put her next to Kael. Morgana and Kael are twin sisters. One is in the goth phase, one is in the political phase. And Morgana was able to like hold back Aatrox for a while for Kael to be able to finish him off. And Morgana has like nerfed herself twice over, like she's given away her sword to Kael. And she has clipped her wings because she deems that she has feet to walk upon the soil. But over the years, she has become an incredibly powerful divine mage. So I'll give her Primarch level. Neferi is pretty much a pack of wolves. So I'm thinking like, in comparison, a pack of Fenrisian wolves from Warhammer 40k. So she can, as a pack, kill Space Marines, not Custodians. Nami. She is a fish lady. A supportive fish lady that shoots water so she dies. Nasus. Where the fuck is Renekton? Renekton was Primarch, right? Yeah. Nasus and Renekton are also brothers. Renekton was always more of the fighter, though. If the power boost is so fucking great that he could match Renekton, then Primarch level. If not, Custodian. Sit. He's a boxer. He can kill guardsmen, he's sure as fuck cannot kill Space Marines. Shaco. We know jack shit about Shaco. He is like a little demon puppet of a prince. He can maybe backstab some guardsmen, but that's it. Shin. Great swordsman. A shinobi. And a sword that can cut through 2 dimensions. Which is really cool, but it does not make him as good as a Custodian. I'll give him Space Marine though. Shyvana. She is a fucking dragon. And like a really good dragon at that. If we give her Helldrake stats, I'd say Space Marine. Can a Custodian kill a Helldrake? I feel like a Custodian could kill a Helldrake. Can I leave it on a maybe? If we give her Helldrake, I'll give her the ability to be able to kill a Custodian. Singed. This man loves his chemical warfare. He could virus bomb a shit ton of people, but not Space Marines. Scion. Bro that killed one of the previous Jarvans. And a big fuck off zombie. But probably at the strength of a big fuck-off zombie orc. Put him with the guys. Sir, chick with a boomerang. Dies. Nautilus. Nautilus is like steel plating so thick that it would take a while for a Space Marine to get through it. And he is also massive. So I'll give him Primarch, actually. Skarner, ginormous scorpion. With an outdated profile picture on this one. He is no longer a crystal. But he is able to kill a Primarch. Nico. She is a shape-shifting little chameleon. She can use magic though, so I'll give her Guardsman. But she can shape-shift. We've never seen Nico needing to take shape of something really fucking powerful. And if she's able to maintain that for a while. Let's say she can turn into the Emperor. If she can shape-shift like to whatever. And she sees a Catan and she can shapeshift into a Catan. She doesn't know the powers that well, so the Catan will eventually beat her. But being able to turn into a Catan does allow her to, like, fucking fight the Emperor. Neela! She is crazy powerful with like, the demon that she has in her. Like, she challenged Volibear, and we never knew the end result of that fight. But there's no way she's able to kill a Custodian, right? Maybe, like, on a very good day, with being, like, fully powered, she could defeat a Custodian. But her power scaling has been weird. Warwick! Big fuck off wolf. I'm gonna compare him to a Fenrisian wolf, the same as Neferi. Where did I put Neferi? Yeah, but she's like a pack of them. Warwick is like a single version. So he tears through guardsmen like butter. But I don't think he's able to claw open Space Marines. Zaya throws feathers. Wukong is under the tutelage of Master Yi. He is not a master of Wuju, but he is able to, like, create clones and stuff and already be able to fight pretty fucking quickly. So I think he's pretty even against the Custodian, if we are to believe that he mastered Wuju to a pretty respectable degree. Zerath. Zerath is pure fucking magic and can bomb the absolute shit out of people. I'm not sure if a blade is able to hurt him, but I will say that him being pure magic kind of gets in the way of him facing the Emperor. Jin Zhao, regular human, can kill some guardsmen, not kill a Space Marine. Yasuo, master of the wind technique, I'd say, without guns involved, he can 1v1 a Custodian, because the wind technique is absolutely ridiculous in terms of strength. Yone, I'll put him next to his annoying little fucking brother. Yorick, I want to put him higher, but my boy cannot face up against Space Marines. Yumi's a fucking cat. He's a magical cat, sure, but still a cat. Zack. Zack is arguably fucking bulletproof. You can really shred through a slime creature. What even is a Custodian able to do against him? Can he fight? Can Zack fight Primarchs? Wait a second. So unless he gets, like, incinerated by high voltage temperatures or stuff, creatures on this list, weirdly enough, aren't able to take him down. It's like if it's a Space Marine with a melter rifle, he gets here, right? If it isn't, he can fight Primarchs, which is a very silly thought. I'm pretty sure Zack's like 7 years old. For funsies, for just like being a slimy little guy, I'll put him on Primarch level. Fuck it. Zed. Oh, he can kill space. Oh, he can kill Custodians. Can he kill Primarchs? He might. Yeah, Zed might. Because he can leap into people's bodies and destroy them. I don't fucking know why he doesn't do that to Shen in the comics. Zeri, chick with a gun, dies. Zillion. Zillion is weirdly powerful, actually. Zillion isn't even in, like, a timeline. He's just in his, like, separate little space. Because his home got consumed by the place where now the Void mainly resides. In Runeterra. Zillion has infinite prep time and can look into every optional ending of time that is available. But for the Emperor, for example, he is able to go back in time to the day where the Emperor is born and just kill baby Emperor. And with a Catan, we don't know the lifespan of a Catan. We don't know if they just start as, like, the all-powerful beings that they are, or if they need to, like, be birthed and raised. But Catan are physical creatures. So I'm gonna put him on Catan list because it's a big maybe. Because we don't know if Zillion can kill baby Catan. Ziggs. He's a terrorist. A terrorist you can shoot. Zoe. It's weird to pinpoint her because, again, she is kind of similar to LeBlanc, being more of a outside manipulator than a fighter. I do think she can trick Space Marines into, like, killing themselves. Like shooting a bolter or whatever and then, like, getting them in a portal and closing the portal, snapping their torso in half, that kind of thing. But Custodians are smarter than that, so I think Space Marine is where it ends for her. But I also don't think a Space Marine is able to kill her. Zyra. Plant Lady. Has projectiles. Guardsmen have flamers. I'm sorry. Briar. She will tear through guardsmen like absolute fucking crazy. But I don't think she's able to fight Space Marines. Kinda want to put her together. Yeah, put her with the Orc boys. Talon. He is a better assassin than Katarina, and that's immediately where it ends. Dies. Lucian, light sentinel with gun, gets outshot by guardsmen with gun. Nidalee, she throws her spears, and for that she dies. Aurelian fucking Soul. Now, Aurelian is like the most overpowered fucking creature in Runeterra. I don't think he can become a Chaos God, because what really would his domain be for mortals? Like, his domain would be the universe itself, because that is what he is as a physical entity. That kind of disables him from becoming a Chaos God. The Chaos Gods also kind of rely on him to have places for souls to reside in. And there's the Celestial Orrery, which isn't something I've explained much. So the Celestial Orrery and Aurelian Soul is like mutual destruction, because the Celestial Orrery is able to kill suns, so is Aurelian Soul. But, you know, the suns are also his body, so he can just kind of... I'm pretty sure he can just kind of move them around if he wants to, which means that he can throw planets out of their orbit because he moves suns around for fun. He doesn't even have to destroy him that much. So wherever a Celestial Orrery is on, Aurelian Soul can kind of fuck with it. The Necrons using the Celestial Orrery can also be like, you know what, fuck you, kills all of your stars to give Aurelian Soul lethal wounds. If you can even kill Aurelian Soul, we don't know. We just know that killing his son causes him pain. Well, put him here. The mutual destruction between A Soul and the Celestial Orrery. Aurora, the newest champ as of recording this, dies. She uses a magical wand to do pew-pew, so she dies. Smaller is a baby dragon, granted of a pretty substantial house. He will get more powerful when he grows up, but for now, at best, he is able to torch guardsmen. And that's it. And at the very last, we have Hui. He is a painter, so that makes him a Chaos God because he is able to paint all the miniatures. Truthfully, he's just an artist, man. He dies. That's kind of it. Yeah, I'll leave it at this. So here we go. This is the full list of the League Champions running the gauntlet of 40k. Do you agree with this list? Do you think champions need to be moved up or down? Is not a single one able to face a Space Marine? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching the longest video I have ever made. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, the whole thing. See you next time.